feel it. I can feel it coming. You're touching my heart.
Hello.
Hi.
Could you do a brief introduction of yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Alan, Thomas. I'm in the band called Joan.
I'm Steven Rutherford, and I'm also in a band called Joan.
We are the band Joan.
So, first question, how do you guys end up being in a band together, especially because it's just the two of you guys? Most bands are usually two or more people, but how do you guys end up together, and why is your band called Joan?
Yeah, we were both in separate bands before, for a while, and mutual admiration for one another, and kind of friends, but fringe friends, you know. And then we started getting closer, and both those bands were kind of at a spot where they weren't going too far just because of different limitations, and so we were like, hey, let's write together and see what happens. And we ended up writing that very first day at my house what ended up being our first single, Take Me On, and we were both just kind of looked at each other and we're like, oh, this is a thing. So and then the name really, if you want to talk about
Yeah, well, while we were writing the first stuff, we were just trying to think of different names, and it had been an option for a previous band that I was in, and they didn't like it, but I really liked it and wanted to keep it in mind. And whenever we started writing this stuff, it just started making sense, the aesthetic and the way we do all the designs and stuff ourselves too. So we were making mock-ups of designs with that name and stuff like that. We were like, yeah, this fits the music. So
The hat with the Joan on it was pretty cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. In terms of you guys working together, do you have specific roles that you guys have? Not just in terms of performance, because you sing.
Yeah, right.
But in terms of composing music, or
We definitely have lanes that each other are better at than the other person. Steven handles literally all the branding and visual stuff. I'm very, he sends me ideas and I'm like, that's sick. Yeah, that's sick. I never don't like something. Yeah, musically we're pretty even. He's way better at lyrics than I am, so he does a lot of that. I usually am behind the computer producing while he's doing lyrics, and then he's throwing out ideas for music too. So it's very very hands-on, both of us kind of in all of it. But I give him all the credit on visual stuff because that's not my forte. So.
But yeah, we're in the studio every day, in there working and writing together all the time. So, but yeah,
it's a day job for us. Yeah.
How long does it take for you guys to make music, or just a song?
Depends. Some of them are way quicker than others. Some of them we write and we sit on for 6 months, and then we're like, okay, that's the next one we need to do, and then we go back into the studio and just work on it some more and mix it. So sometimes it can take a month, sometimes it can take a year to go from start to finish. So
what song took you the longest to write?
Drive All Night actually was
great song.
It was one of our first 5 songs, I think.
Literally.
And it was a completely different vibe at first, and had different lyrics, and we sat on that one for over a year.
I think it was called Get That Girl at first.
Yeah.
The hook was, I'm gonna get that girl.
Yeah.
The whole song was about pursuing a person. And then I think you had the idea for Drive All Night. And anyway, yeah, that one took a while.
Yeah.
I was over
but
a year.
Once we did that change, it was really quick, and so yeah, it's crazy how songs work.
The science of songs, yeah.
So most of your songs, I think, have a specific genre or a specific style that you take. Is that intentional, or is it just the music taste that you like?
Yeah, it is. We're definitely the Portrait era, I'll call it, for our first EP, Portrait. We're definitely drawing from a specific kind of set of inspiration, a lot of 80s influence, Don Henley and Michael Jackson and Prince and that, that era. But the new stuff we're doing is some of those elements will probably always be there because it's less about a genre for us and more about a sound, or why does Boys of Summer by Don Henley make me feel the way I feel? And then we examine that and we're like, well, it's the tempo is perfect, the melody on this synth is just, it gives me goosebumps. Like so it's more about, we're kind of chasing a feeling more than like a genre, I'd say. So like the new songs we're writing are less that and more, I don't want to say current, but like kind of pushing up to now more than the last stuff. But anyway, yeah, we don't really, I guess we don't really think about it as genre as much. Because I think our, not fear, but we don't ever want to be, I guess, tied too much to one thing, unless the one thing is in general pop, because we love pop music, you know.
So my personal favorite song of yours is Tokyo,
Oh, sweet.
but I like never really knew why Tokyo was the title of the song, or why like we could go to Tokyo or something like that. Like, did you visit
I don't
Japan
know either.
and like?
No, we've actually never been to Tokyo. I think that was. Have you?
No, I've not been to Tokyo.
I think that was part of it. It was like we were trying to think of like a concept around like, let's just leave where we are, go to somewhere we've never been, kind of thing.
Together.
And it was just like Tokyo was like the first thing that came to mind. It was just like that's the farthest place we can think of, right? You know, and
we had the melody first, I believe.
Yeah.
And he was filling out some lyrics and was like, "We go to Tokyo," and I was like, "Yes, that's it." So it was pretty. Once he threw it out there, it was like immediate. That was the hook. So.
Are most of your lyrics personal, or?
It's yeah. I mean, I think every song you could draw. We definitely draw from personal experience, but not all of them are like, we're both happily married people. Like, not a lot of sadness in our life at this point, thank God. But we still have sad material to write about that we maybe.
I loved you first.
Yeah. So like, we drew inspiration from that on like when I was my first like girlfriend that I had in 7th grade, and she broke up with me and like crushed me. But like, it's not a current feeling now, but it's when you're in 7th grade, it's as real as it is now, you know. And so we were like, oh, this would be kind of a cool concept to ride around, and no one knows it's about a 7th grade relationship until I say it. But so yeah, we kind of yes and no. It's personal. Sometimes it's concept, and sometimes it's a little bit of mixed. So yeah.
Outside of just songwriting or just performing in general, do you have any other things that you do outside of it?
Not much. I have found a weird liking for like, I don't know what the word would be. I don't know if it's carpentry, woodworking. Like I built our mine and Lala, my wife's dining room table, and I was like, this is oddly satisfying. Like I really enjoyed the process. I think like just working with your hands, like you get behind a computer screen all day and like your neck starts hurting. You just get used to like the grind of that, and so to like get outside and get dirty and like work with your hands is like, it's a whole nother part of my brain that I don't exercise near enough. So that's probably mine.
Yeah.
That sounds so old.
Yeah.
Like I'm 85 years old.
I used to never play video games, but I've really gotten into video games lately. So that's kind of what I'm toying with right now as far as hobbies go.
You have a specific game?
Oh,
It's old, but I still play Fortnite. I love Fortnite. I don't know why.
Guys, we get done at the show, we go to the hotel. Well, we sell merch. We go to the hotel. Steven plugs in Fortnite into the TV, and I fall asleep watching him play Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful existence. It's our sweet little routine.
What songs do you usually listen to, just like for fun?
Like other people's songs?
Yeah.
I right now have had Halsey's new song Graveyard on, like, that's literally the only song I'm listening to right now. I don't know, I mean, I know why it's awesome, but I get locked in and then I listen to a song until I hate it, so that'll happen. But I like her new record a lot. We love this band Valley, they're from Canada. Really beautiful people and writing really cool, like, unique pop, indie pop music that I don't think anyone else sounds like, so that's pretty cool. Those are two that I'm into right now.
I'm listening to Daniel Caesar a lot.
Went to his concert last week.
Oh, really?
That struck a
Amazing.
chord.
Where was it?
Nashville Marathon.
You went to a show here? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'd love to see him
Amazing,
live.
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, him and Sure. If you've heard of them, they're really good. Yeah, they've
Another
got
band
cool
that's
stuff.
like doing something that no one else is doing. To me.
Yeah.
So, very cool.
Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Oh no.
Future goals. Man, it's hard to formulate that because I'm speaking just for me personally. I keep very small goals Like, I'm less concerned about what next year looks like for us touring or whatever, you know, all the little pieces, and more concerned about like, are we gonna finish these songs in time to record in a month, you know? So that's kind of how my brain works. I'm very like, I don't do well with a lot of information, so I like kind of have to focus in on one thing at a time. But if I had to dream big, I'd say, this isn't gonna sound big, I would just love to be like a band that can stand the test of time, and no matter how big or small we get, in 10 years we're still making a living doing what we love, and being able to support our families and still tour and have fans, and whether that's arenas or, you know, 1,000 cap rooms. I don't know that I care as much about that, but yeah, I think that'd be my answer. Steven wants a Grammy.
Yeah, opening up for like Ariana Grande or something, you know. Just kidding.
I would definitely take that. If you're
No,
listening.
it's the
She's
same
not.
for me. I think like if we're growing slowly and steadily, I'm happy. Yeah.
Yeah. If the trajectory is doing this, no matter the angle, I'm good. Hey guys, I'm Alan.
And I'm Steven.
And we're Joan, and you are listening to WRVU Nashville.
We can go to Tokyo on the first flight out tomorrow. Don't know what the future holds.